Frankie Morris had an IQ of 133, but that doesn't mean he knew how to swim. Johnny Anglin robbed a bank, but he never took nothing from me. Clarence Anglin had his lady's name tattooed on his wrists, but that was just so he wouldn't forget what it was. And mermaids don't have names anyway. You can call us Ohms or Siren, Serena or Selkie, Sea Hag or Sea Witch or Sea Devil, or simply damn you, damn you. Sometimes in a nice way and sometimes not. We, the Mermaids of Alcatraz, have been here since it was nothing. Just the cormorants in their poses, offering their feathers to the wind. Just the pelicans in their greedy mouths full of silvery fish. Just the mice gnawing the apple drops each fall. Just the seals that laid their jowly bellies on the rocks and brayed. Just me and my sisters, smacking our tails on the shores of Evil Island, wondering what could be so evil about a place where honeysuckle looped wild from the dirt, close enough for even a mermaid to pluck and suck and tuck into her salty mane. We'd hardly see men at all. The Ohlone would not float their marshland canoes out to Evil Island, where we spent our days binging on oysters and honeysuckle, racing crabs and wrestling sea lions. And then the Spanish came in their creaking, billowing boats, scaring the pelicans into the sky with a thunder crack that blotted the sun, bringing the Ohloni's evil island to life. The Spanish called our home Alcatraz, for the birds, the Spanish with their hair dark and shining as a cormorant. Later came Zealous Towers, fancy as the name his mother gave him. Uncle Sam was paying him to build a prison on evil Alcatraz, but none of us mermaids would help. We, the Mermaids of Alcatraz, like our men free. Zealous Towers struggled with his cut stone and planks of wood, calling us lazy and fat like the seals that drove him mad with their honking. And it's true, we must have been lazy girls, because as much as we didn't want to see a bunch of men imprisoned on our island, we couldn't bring ourselves to push those stones into the bay. Outright sabotage is beyond a mermaid, generally speaking, but we heaped our scorn on this government man and joined the seals in songs that made him a bit wild in the head. And when it was heaped there, a cage of stone and iron, we, the Mermaids of Alcatraz, would gather on the rocks below and show our sorrow to the beaten men. Soldiers ragged from the field, Hopi men taken from their children, all of them stashed in the fog that crept into their lungs and made them sputter. We beached ourselves beneath their barred windows and crooned to them our sweetest melodies, until they didn't know the difference between waking and sleeping, until maybe it could all just be a nightmare. It was a real parade when they brought in the robbers. Rolling coaches stuffed with troublemakers, beside a pelican pack of FBI, sergeants and marshals, all those titles men give to one another. The troublemakers had their titles too. Orphan and JD, hooligan and criminal, robber, kidnapper, murderer. They sat in their holes like all the other men, but they were more angry than sad, these ones. More wily than beaten. Too smart to be defeated. Frankie and Johnny and Clarence whispered to us their plans. We could hear them in the night, the clinking of their spoons against the sea-rotten walls. We imagined the piles of dust growing and oh, the artistry. Painting cardboard to look like mottled stone, stealing tufts of hair from the barber shop and pasting it to their papier-mâché heads, nestling the heads on their pillows for the night warden to pass his flashlight over. Of course we were there for them, we, the Mermaids of Alcatraz. Surely they would have drowned or been gobbled by sharks. We fell in love with the robbers as we carried them through the surf. Frankie Morris and his tough guy Squint, holding my hair like a bridle. Farm boy Johnny Anglin, his blonde hair still smelling like the bleach he soaked it in while on the run. And handsome Clarence Anglin, who just wanted to get back to his girl. We, the Mermaids of Alcatraz, tried not to take it personally. We didn't know it was our island's glory days, days of prisoners, when they called it the Rock. We thought we'd be happy when they shut it down, but we missed those men. A cage full of birds, all ours. It's not like they'd been set free. They'd been carted off to Illinois, where I know for a fact there are no mermaids. No one to give them dreams or gentle their punishment. We had no one left to sing to, and soon many of the mermaids set off for different shores. I'm still here, peeking at the tourists who come to gawk at holes our prisoners dug through their walls. They see me all the time, but tell themselves it was just a seal, the plump tail of a sea lion. They hear me too, but call it seasickness, or that drink they had on the boat. It takes a certain kind of man to look a mermaid in the eye. Orphans and JDs, hooligans and criminals, robbers, kidnappers, murderers. I wait for them here, on the rocks of Alcatraz Island.